Welcome to The Awakening. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Today we are talking about African American isolationism and why it will not work. African Americans will not survive without the continent of Africa. We must make alliances with our mother continent now, the American descendants of slavery. Movement. ADOS is fine as a legal fight for reparations based on lineage, but is a short-term goal and not a long-term goal. African Americans are under attack by the people who you elected the Democrats. Democrats are fighting of all races to import illegal immigrants into Black communities, and now your sons and daughters can't get jobs. College means nothing, Black women. Asians get a hate crime bill that we have been fighting for since 1890s with Ida B. Wells' anti-lynching campaign. Asians strongly dislike Africans and African Americans. We don't send for them, but they keep coming for us. African Americans will not survive without Africa. Have you ever wondered why Asian Americans seem to harbor resentment towards African Americans despite our shared experiences as minorities in the United States? This question may seem provocative, even uncomfortable, but it's one that has been stirring in the cultural cauldron of our society for some time now. Now let's be clear. This isn't a blanket statement about all Asian Americans. Far from it. This phenomenon is a complex issue, observed in some situations, not a universal truth. But it's a dialogue that needs to happen, an issue that needs to be addressed. The undercurrents of this tension are rooted in our shared history, our shared struggle, and our shared spaces. Why is this relevant today, you ask? Well, because understanding each other is the first step towards unity. And unity, my friends, is the key to progress. It's not a simple issue. There are layers to peel back and perspectives to consider. So, let's dive in. Welcome to The Awakening. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification so you know every time I upload a new video. Today we are talking about African American isolationism and why it will not work. The American descendants of slavery. Movement. ADOS is fine as a legal fight for reparations based on lineage, but is a short-term goal and not a long-term goal. African Americans will not survive without the continent of Africa. We must make alliances with our mother continent now. To understand the present, we must journey back to the past. Our story begins in the mid-19th century when the first major waves of Asian immigrants arrived on American shores. Just as African Americans were grappling with the aftermath of slavery, these new arrivals were seeking a better life in a land unfamiliar to them. African American and Asian American communities have a shared history of struggle against racial discrimination, yet their paths have often diverged. Instances of cooperation and mutual support are plentiful. For instance, during the civil rights movement of the 1960s, many Asian Americans stood in solidarity with African Americans fighting for equality. However, conflict has also marred these relations. One contributing factor is the model minority stereotype often associated with Asian Americans. This stereotype, perpetuated by societal structures and media representation, paints Asian Americans as the successful minority. But it's not the whole truth, and it's been used to drive a wedge between communities of color, creating an illusion of competition for resources and opportunities. This divide deepened with the introduction of policies like affirmative action. While intended to level the playing field for historically marginalized groups, some felt it led to unfair disadvantages for Asian Americans in areas like college admissions. These sentiments bred resentment and further strained relations between the communities. Media representation adds another layer of complexity. African Americans and Asian Americans are often pitted against each other in popular culture, reinforcing harmful stereotypes and perpetuating a narrative of conflict. This isn't just a problem on the silver screen or in the pages of a novel. It's reflected in the news we consume and the stories we tell ourselves about each other. It's important to remember that these tensions don't exist in a vacuum. They're part of a larger societal framework that often benefits from division and discord. By understanding the roots of these conflicts, we can begin to challenge the narratives that fuel them. With this historical context, we can better understand the complexities of the present situation. It's a complicated history, but it's ours to grapple with, to learn from, and ultimately to overcome. Welcome to The Awakening. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Today we are talking about African American isolationism and why it will not work. The American descendants of slavery. Movement ADOS is fine as a legal fight for reparations based on lineage, but is a short-term goal and not a long-term goal. African Americans will not survive without the continent of Africa. We must make alliances with our mother continent now. Fast forward to today, where the tension continues, sometimes escalating into legal battles. One of the recent examples that come to mind is the lawsuit filed by Asian parents against the New York State Education Department. The bone of contention? A STEM summer program that, according to the parents, is keeping their kids out in favor of Black and Hispanic students. The program, known as the Science and Technology Entry Program, or STEP, annually admits around 11,000 students from 7th to 12th grade for classes at 56 participating colleges and medical schools statewide. Its mission is to increase the number of historically underrepresented and economically disadvantaged students in fields such as math, science, tech, and health. However, the eligibility criteria for the program have caused a stir. While Black, Hispanic, and Native American students can apply regardless of family wealth, Asian and white students need to meet certain low-income criteria. The Asian parents who filed the lawsuit argue that their children, who come from families just above the state's low-income threshold, are being unfairly kept out of the program because of their race or ethnicity. The lawsuit claims that this allegedly biased admissions criteria have been in place for nearly 4 decades. 39 years of discrimination is enough, the parents argue. But here's the thing. This clash is not just about a lawsuit or a summer program. It's about systemic issues that have been simmering beneath the surface for decades. It's about miscommunication, misunderstanding, and the failure to acknowledge the unique struggles of different communities. And ultimately, it's about the failure of our society to create a system that is fair and equitable for everyone, regardless of their race or ethnicity. It's about the failure to understand that equality does not mean treating everyone the same way, but acknowledging and addressing their unique challenges and needs. These conflicts are not just about individuals, but a reflection of broader societal issues. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is a path forward. A future where African Americans and Asian Americans can coexist harmoniously is not a far-fetched dream. It starts with dialogue, open and honest conversations about our experiences, our struggles, and our triumphs. It's about acknowledging our differences, but also recognizing our similarities. Both communities have deep roots in this country, and both have faced and continue to face challenges. By understanding each other's experiences, we can begin to dismantle the stereotypes that have been built around us. We can challenge the narratives that have been used to divide us, and instead create new ones based on mutual respect and understanding. Solidarity is key. We can stand together, united against the common adversities that we face. By supporting each other, we can work towards a more inclusive society, where everyone, regardless of their race or ethnicity, can have equal opportunities. The path to unity is not easy, but it is possible. Change begins with you. Just like a stone cast into a pond, every ripple you create can lead to vast change. With the world at our fingertips, it's easier than ever to educate ourselves about the issues that divide us. We all have our biases and prejudices, but these are not set in stone. We can choose to challenge them, to question why we hold them, and to grow beyond them. Let's encourage open, respectful dialogue about these issues. When we engage in conversation, we learn from each other. We gain new perspectives and broaden our understanding. And through this, we find common ground. Remember, it's not about winning an argument, it's about understanding one another. It's about challenging the status quo and bringing about change. So I invite each and every one of you to join the conversation. Join the conversation, challenge the status quo, and be a part of the solution. Because together, we can make a difference. This has been The Awakening. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Today we are talking about African American isolationism and why it will not work. African Americans will not survive without the continent of Africa. We must make alliances with our mother continent now.